Papa Jules Music presents Choosing Happy, a musical memoir written and performed by Terry Scheinzeit. It's late August in Schenectady, New York. I'm 6 years old, getting ready for bed. I brush my teeth, choose my favorite pink panda pajamas, and get under my blanket covered with stuffed animals. I wait for Mom to kiss me goodnight. It's a normal, nothing out of the ordinary night. When Mom comes in and leans over me for our evening ritual, she notices a ripple move across my tummy. At first she thinks, I must have imagined that. And for a minute, she pretends it isn't there. Suddenly, she leaves the room. In the morning, Mom calls her pediatrician. Take her to Boston Children's Hospital, he says. Don't wait another day. That night, I sit between Mom and Dad in the front seat of our red Oldsmobile on the way to the airport. Daddy's knuckles are as white as bone as he clutches the wheel. I have no clue what's going on. On the runway, I see a huge spaceship with glaring lights. I've never been on an airplane before. Daddy's hands tremble as he carries me like a carton of eggs to the plane. When we land, an ambulance rushes me to Boston Children's Hospital, where a doctor removes my left kidney and spleen. I'm in the recovery room, and my parents, Laura and Jules, are in the visitor's lounge waiting for results. I'm sorry, a doctor says. Your daughter has a Wilms tumor, kidney cancer, stage 4. And during the operation, her kidney burst, sprinkling cancer cells over her lungs and heart. This is the 1960s, and cancer is a death sentence. People whisper the words under their breath. It's so sad. Their little girl has cancer. Treatments are experimental. Doctors try different combinations of chemo and radiation to see what works. They tell my parents there are no guarantees. If I live, there will be side effects, though they don't know what they'll be. My doctor is Sidney Farber, the father of chemotherapy. He and his team are the best. My parents tell them, do whatever you need to do. We want Terry to live. I lie quietly in a dark room and feel the cold table beneath me. I wear a thin hospital robe. I smell metal. The doctor lifts my gown and marks my stomach in blue ink where to radiate. I'm told to hold my breath. I think I'm still holding it. I'm falling again. Don't know when the fall will end. How far will I drop again? I'm tired again. Not just now and then, laying low in bed again. Fright, bouncing balls walls that soar and quickly rise come crashing down sometimes. I gladly give up my electric highs to lose these stormy skies. I'm wondering again, how long can I pretend everything is just fine? Again, again, again. During the 1960s and 70s, my family never discusses anything bad, anything uncomfortable. Definitely not emotions, and especially around the children. Family issues are nobody's business. There's no Dr. Phil, no Oprah, and no support groups. Besides, what do you have to be upset about? I don't know I had cancer until I'm a teenager. Every year until I'm 13, I'm escorted to the hospital basement by a man in a white coat. In a brightly lit room, a male photographer in a blue suit asks me to take off my clothes. I stand naked in front of a white backdrop. I don't understand anything that's going on. Maybe the doctors told my parents this would help medical science or help other patients. Or maybe my parents weren't told anything. Besides, who would say no to doctors? To survive, I learned the art of emotionally leaving the room. I think of birds. An indigo bunting bluebird glides through the air like a kite, free as a soul. All blue, looking like the sky itself, the bird sings bright, hopeful tunes to all who will listen. Totally in charge of life, indigo soars like the sound of a viola in an orchestra. The conductor's baton lifts the bird and melody higher and higher in the sky. I'm a teenage girl at the hospital for my yearly checkup. The examining room is bare, a few medical instruments, a box of rubber gloves. The place smells of chemicals. At one point, the doctor gets distracted and leaves the room. My medical file is lying on the desk. I open the folder and see black and white photographs of me naked. I'm smiling, like in a family photo from Sears. I hate this little girl, this pathetic little girl. I hear footsteps and quickly close the folder before the doctor walks in. The American goldfinch, with its lemon yellow head sporting a black beret, flies over the meadow with abandon. Flashing gold in the hot sun, the bird circles as if dancing, twirling, spinning, purely for the fun of it. I join him laughing, gliding. Everyone is watching. They are in awe of my beauty, my exquisite presence. I pretend I'm normal and everything is okay. I'm doing fine. Moving slow in my own time. I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind. Moving slow, a tad behind. I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Watch me shine. 'Cause for now, I'm fine. Watch me shine. I'm fine. Sometimes I'd like to say, Mom, I wish our relationship was easier. We never really connect. Not only are things swept under the rug, we have wall-to-wall carpeting. Medically, you're there for me 100%. Did you call the doctor? Did you tell him about your stomach aches? Did you remember to take your pills? Yes, Mom, yes, yes. But sometimes I feel like I'm a medical chart sitting on a living room couch. What I crave from you is acknowledgement that I went through something. I wish I'd hear, "Want to talk, sweetheart? I know this is hard for you. Look how well you're handling everything. I'm so proud of you." Mom, you always say, we have to go on from here. But can't we just stay here for a moment and talk about what's going on? Helpless heart, take it slow. A small, steady start, a gentle flow. Time will come to feel alright. Helpless heart, take it easy tonight. Helpless heart, let your tears wash away your scars. Surrender here. Release, don't hold so tight. Helpless heart, take it easy tonight. Helpless heart. At 11, 5 years cancer-free, I stare at a colorful Disney mural on the hospital wall. The Wicked Witch is handing Snow White a poison apple, which will coax her into a sleeping death. What's that about? I'm wearing a blue dress with yellow flowers, a matching headband, and my favorite Mary Janes. I always dress up for the doctors. I believe Mom thinks if I look pretty, they'll like me better. A young doctor enters the room. "My, don't you look pretty today." "Thank you." "How was your trip?" "Fine, thank you." "And how are we feeling today?" "Fine, thank you." "You're a lucky girl. You were very sick, and now you're doing well. Although you did receive a lot of radiation. I'm afraid you won't live long." "What?" I think, will I live long enough to get married? Go to the senior prom? Do I have time to eat lunch today? I keep quiet. I don't say a word. I wonder what Mom is thinking. She's sitting up straight in a chair. I smell her sweet perfume. She shows no emotion. Maybe Mom checks out and leaves the room, like I've learned to do. One afternoon when I'm 15, I knock on my mother's bedroom door. She's sitting on the bed with a large wooden box on her lap. She's organizing her jewelry, separating the necklaces from the bracelets from the rings. Mom, can we talk? I sit down next to her, leaving a fair amount of space between us. The doctor says I'm not going to live long. What does that mean? Mom shifts her position on the bed, closes the brown box, and sets it between us. We didn't want to tell you, but when you were sick, you had cancer. As part of the treatment, you had a lot of radiation, and there are side effects. It's why you're not developing breasts, why you're not getting a period, and you won't be able to have children. Mom walks out and goes downstairs to make dinner. Roast chicken and mashed potatoes. I go to the bathroom and cry. The next morning, a magazine with a cover story on adoption is left on the kitchen table. Nothing more is said. Friends ask me all the time, how do you make it through? With everything that's happened so tragically to you. Therapy, I tell them, Jungian and Gestalt, hoping to blame my parents and everyone else at fault. Now I'm wearing 3D glasses, detachment, denial, delusion. Now I'm happy all the time, no confusion, I'm fine, fine, fine. Thought a guru was the ticket, then yoga with a new life coach. Meditated for hours, Googling inspirational quotes. Sensory deprivation tank, I learned to let things go. Drank matcha green tea latte, signed up for Taekwondo. Now I'm wearing 3D glasses, detachment, denial, delusion. Now I'm happy all the time, no confusion, I'm fine, fine, fine. I tried ayahuasca healing in the foothills of Peru. TED Talks, long walks, I made a list of gratitude. Wellbutrin and Celexa, Ativan so I could sleep. Turn failures into lessons, stop gluten and red meat. I prefer my 3D glasses, detachment, denial, delusion. Now I'm happy all the time, no confusion, I'm fine, fine, I'm fine, fine. At 32, I wear a blue robe designed for a large woman with gigantic breasts. I sit perched on my gynecologist's examining table. My yearly checkups are short. My reproductive system has been zapped, and like Elvis, left the building. I never did grow breasts or have a period, so there are no discussions about birth control at pregnancy. So, Terry, your body's in early menopause. What that means, my doctor says, is you have the bones of a woman in her mid-70s. That night, I dreamed that my bones turned to a gray, chalky powder. Fine bits of ash. My face is my face, but my body is deflated. My loose skin a casing, a plastic bag that holds my ashes. I wake up terrified. What's happening to me? Body's ailing, dragging you down. Used to lift weights, now you barely walk around. Feeling cranky, full of self-doubt. Hard to focus and your bonnet's gone south. But you're not your body, bones and skin. You're a vessel, and deep within your spirit or soul, an inner light, take flight. Take flight, take flight. Doctor says stop, give it a rest. Balance is off, you're feeling useless. Doubled over, depleted and sad. Sleeping all day with a heating pad. But you're not your body, bones and skin. You're a vessel, and deep within your spirit or soul, an inner light, take flight. Take flight, take flight. Your spirit or soul, an inner light, take flight. Take flight. Take flight. At 50, I'm scheduled for a routine colonoscopy with a new doctor. My former gastroenterologist was bumped off my health plan. The procedure is scheduled for 10 in the morning, putting me back in my office by 3 for a business call with a coaching client. I like my career, helping people struggling with their lives. Today, the plan was to tell my client how clear, measurable goals could help her control her life and future. I never made it back to my desk. The doctor forgets that my radiated organs are compromised, and he needs to use a pediatric scope and go in slowly, really carefully. Instead, he goes in willy-nilly, puncturing my colon twice, going in and coming out. In a sedated, groggy state, I hear, "We have a problem." While who knows what spews into my intestinal cavity, an ambulance rushes me to the hospital, where a surgeon removes 14 inches of my large intestine. A week later, my colon opens up again, and I'm on a gurney headed back to the operating room. The surgeon says, "The last operation was bad. This one's going to be worse, and you're going to come out with a colostomy bag." Rubber stitches, thick as sausages, hold my stomach together. The pain is intense. I spend 3 more weeks in the hospital. I consider my options. Should I be buried or cremated? The Savannah sparrow stands proudly on pink legs before taking flight. Displaying dark brown streaks on her small gray frame, she sings rapid, short notes before building to a trill. She looks forward to a golden sun to warm her fragile and delicate body. Back in my hospital room, I imagine that my body is covered with holes, tears flowing out of every opening. I think I'm overmedicated. On the walls, red and yellow flowers are growing out of picture frames. Tulips and sunflowers take over the space and move towards my bed. Nurses cover the artwork with sheets, and a psychiatrist is called in. "I've got a brilliant idea," I say when he enters the room. "Yes? What's that?" "I've decided to take my soul and leave it down the hall. Then, when my body heals, I'm going to reunite the two." No, he says. "I think you should keep your body and soul together for now." Okay. I end up in intensive care, which proves challenging for me and the hospital staff. A sign outside my room reads, "Biter." Apparently, I chomped on a nurse's hand during an earlier procedure. The door opens. A clock displays 3. Morning? Afternoon? I see a large shadow of a nurse flashing across the wall. I hear a voice, lilting like an angel. The nurse is there to take my vitals, or maybe see if I'm still breathing. Her touch is warm. I want her plump, soft arms to envelop me, protect me. "How can you do this for a living?" I ask. "Taking care of such sick people." "Oh, my dear, I love this job. People need me. And look how brave you are, how well you're handling everything." Brave? I'm not so sure. I'm attached to too many tubes. I can't hold on anymore. I miss my mom, who died a few years ago. Suddenly, I feel lighter and lighter. My body relaxes, strangely calm. I'm floating down a long tube or passageway, or is it a tunnel? A soft, reassuring light leads the way. I hear a tone, a single note, a chime resonating all around me. Or is it in me? Or am I the sound? I leave my weary body behind. No more sharp lights, mechanical monitors, or IV pumps. I'm a thin piece of tissue, floating, swirling, dancing. Or is it the drugs? Whirling through the tunnel, I see a figure, arms crossed, feet firmly planted, blocking the exit. Or is it the entrance? "Mom, is that you? What's going on? How come you look so translucent?" Mom stands there. She means business. "This is not your time," she says. "What? Where are we? Where's Dad?" "This is not your time." An energy source pulls me back like dust through a vacuum. Back in the hospital. Back in bed. Back in my body. When my mother speaks, I listen. I'm back from the dead. At least I'm out of bed. Scalpel charts and meds, rest, the doctor said. I used to be a busy bee, doing an Now I just sit and stare by the window in my big armchair. My big, 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 big armchair. My big, 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 big armchair. Time is moving slow, or is it fast? I don't know. Trees sleep covered in snow. Where did the summer go? Pillows all around, my feet up off the ground. I sit without a sound. Just sit and stare by the window in my big armchair. My big, 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 big armchair. My big, 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 big armchair. Calls to make, I don't care. Friends to thank, I don't care. Walks to take, do I care? I'm sitting in my big armchair. I'm sitting in my big armchair. Sitting in my big armchair. A cat meets me there. When I was still in the hospital, all I wanted to do was go home. On discharge day, I weigh 85 pounds and need a walker to move. I sit in a wheelchair with a box of medical supplies and a vase of yellow daffodils on my lap. I wait for an escort to the lobby. A nurse walks in. "Oh, you have a colostomy bag? Most men leave their wives because of this. They just can't handle it." I'm glad my husband isn't in the room when she says that. Turns out, not only is my husband able to handle it, he's a rock star. He's the one to change my colostomy bag. Now, I wouldn't recommend this if you want to improve your sex life, but he was cool about the whole thing. "What?" he says. "I changed the cat litter. I'm just changing hers." He's also masterful with houseplants. I like beautiful, lush things around me. And I'll say, "Get rid of that one. It's pathetic. It only has one branch on it." He says, "It still has life in it." He thinks that about me, too. Holding tight with all my might, I'm letting go tonight. Moving slow, nowhere to go. I'll let it flow. Tonight, you take charge tonight. Make what's hard all right. Bring me home, sing me home, rock me home. drift tonight. Here I'll rest, forget the mess, wanna be blessed. You take charge tonight, make what's hard alright. Bring me home, sing me home, rock me home tonight. Bring me home, sing me home. You're my home. I had surgery to remove the colostomy bag, but I never fully recovered from the colon incident. 10 years later, I still weigh a little more than a mosquito. I'm put on a nutritional treatment called TPN, where nutrients are pumped directly into my bloodstream through a needle in my arm, 5 days a week, 12 hours a day. I carry a knapsack, which holds this huge plastic bag of fluid, along with a noisy pump. I gained 20 pounds, a lot of it fluid, so my face looks like a large cantaloupe. I rarely leave the apartment. I don't recognize myself in the bathroom mirror. I ask my doctor if I can eat. Well, all your nutritional needs come through this bag, she says, but eat if it makes you feel normal. Normal? How long do I have to do this? Oh, this is how you will live now. The ruby-throated hummingbird with its long beak zips from flower to flower, relishing sweet nectar. Fast as a race car, she feeds constantly to maintain her wild energy. Her wings flap forward and backwards like a staccato concerto. Enjoying the sweetness, she lives life as high as the moon. After a year, I tell my doctor, I've decided to stop TPN. I need to get my life back. You're not your body, just bones and skin. You're a vessel, and deep within your spirit and soul, an inner light, take flight. Take flight. Take flight. I spent so much time thinking about death. My therapist, Dr. Doolittle, that's really his name, says it's common, especially if a person's been seriously ill. What do you mean, I ask? How common? Who are these people? Where do they live? How old are they? Are you thinking about death, he asks, or how much time you have left? How much time I have left? Well, he says, I think you're talking about life. I revel at daybreak, fly out of bed, journal and paint in yellow and red, dance across the floor, my magic music hall, draped in silk, knowing I won't fall. Rise, my dear heart, rise. with me early in the morn. Rise, dear heart, rise. I cherish my coffee, each fragrant roast, peach marmalade on hot buttered toast. Rise, my dear heart, rise. Please be with me early in the morn. Rise, dear heart, rise. A few years ago, Dr. Doolittle is knocked off my health plan. I tearfully say goodbye to him with his colorful bow ties, someone who totally gets me. I research new therapists, read websites, stare at photos, and review bios. I call 10 therapists. 3 return my calls. I decide on a female therapist, mid-60s, New York's Upper West Side, nice hair. The session goes by quickly. I tell her about my background, my cancer, the long-term side effects, and my fear of dying. You have too many problems, she says. I wouldn't be comfortable working with you, but let's make another appointment and let me think about it. She reaches for her calendar. No, I say, let's not make another appointment and I'll think about it. One day, my mother appears to me. She floats in and sits right down at the kitchen table. I've been thinking about your situation, Terry. You should call Children's Hospital in Boston and let them know about your punctured colon. If it happened to you, it could happen to other patients. I make the call. The doctors thank me. They recommend that I now go to Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City where I live. That's how I meet Dr. Effinger, the head of a new department for long-term survivors. I call him Dr. O. At our first appointment, we spent 2 hours sitting in a conference room talking about songwriting, my coaching practice, and the best Texas-style barbecue in the city. What scares you most about your medical situation, he asks. Well, I always think I'm going to die soon. Oh, I think you're going to live well into your 90s. Anything else, he asks? When doctors read my medical files, their eyes spin around in their sockets. They don't know what to do with me. No worries, Dr. O says. I see patients like you every day. I've got this. I'm burning these old shoes. I'm dancing a few new moves. I'm choosing blissful ways, waltzing past these dark days. I'm gaining a few more pounds to help me win another round. Saying yes till I'm all filled up, saying no to an empty cup. I'm doing fine, holding strong on the front line. Watch me shine, 'cause for now I'm fine. Getting ready at the starting gate, staying close to my teammates, scouting out a few good friends. 'cause for now I'm fine. Watch me shine, I'm fine. Whenever I email Dr. O, he responds within the hour. And once, when I sang at a club in the East Village, he and his wife came to hear me. And if I'm in the hospital, he'll say, "No worries, this is only a blip. This is not life-threatening." Soon after a blood clot travels to my lung, making it difficult to breathe, I learned about a songwriting workshop in Tuscany. My dream vacation. I walk across the room in a trance to get my credit card. There is one spot left, and it has my name on it. I sign up. Everyone tells me this is not a good idea. Doctors, friends, family. They all say I'm too weak. It's too much. Dr. O says, "I think you should go. I'll find you a doctor in Florence. I'll send him your medical records. You won't need him, but he'll be there as a backup." Dr. O says, "If you act like a sick person, you'll be one." I clutch my passport and walk through the airport with a rolling suitcase and guitar strapped to my back. I stop at every Starbucks, Cinnabon, and duty-free shop to rest. I sleep on the flight missing meals. Maybe it is too much. Will I be a burden to the rest of the group? Will I even make it through? Crazy thing, in Tuscany, I don't feel sick at all. I'm singing, writing songs, hanging with new friends, and taking long walks in the countryside. Oh, and I gained 5 pounds. Mom, you've been gone over 15 years. I miss you. I wish I could call you and tell you about my day. Maybe you'd be able to talk about things. That's something people do now. And you know what? I'm ready to go on from here. And those words I wish you had said to me, now I say them to myself. Terry, what are you feeling? Look how well you're handling everything. I'm so proud of you. Blue skies are muddy gray. Again, the F train is delayed. Lost a client who always paid, but I'm choosing happy today. Global warming like we've never known. On a bus I left my cell phone. It's been years since my arms were toned, but I'm choosing happy today. Choosing happy today. Choosing happy today. Taxes up ahead, painted our walls way too red. To fall asleep now I'm taking meds, but I'm choosing happy today. Choosing happy today. Choosing happy today. Choosing happy today. Choosing happy today.